I'm Candace Glover, and you're watching TVLine.com.
Great Scott, I've created life itself.
Reality Check is super excited to have Caleb Johnson in the house today.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So we know that you auditioned twice before in seasons 10 and 11. You skipped season 12. Were you at all inspired by the fact that Candace Glover, third time was the charm for her, and you came pretty close the first two times to making it to the live shows?
Yeah, you know what's actually funny is that Candace was on season 11 with me.
Candace, I'm sorry, baby.
Thank you.
And then I got cut the Green Mile walk because I messed up. She got cut in Vegas, and then she wins the next season, and then I win the season after that. So I just thought that was really, really funny. And another really cool kind of fun tidbit is that Candace, and Philip all auditioned in the same city in Savannah, Georgia.
Really?
Season 11, yeah.
I think I messed up.
And I just really was not, comfortable in my own skin, for one thing, was not really that experienced performing on stage. I took that year off to focus on, writing music with my band, playing out as many possible shows as possible. I mean, gigging literally every place that would have me play, I would go play it, whether it was for free, or they would pay me, like $100, whatever. And just really honing in my craft so that way when it was time for the real deal to happen, I was ready, regardless.
Your final Hollywood Week solo during Green Mile.
Is Caleb grabbing a spot in the top 15 guys? Or is he headed home?
80% of people said, he's definitely going home.
Yeah. I remember watching that, and I laughed. I was like, wow. I was like, they're wrong.
You're in the top 15.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It was just interesting because, yeah, they did kind of set it up like that.
And one thing that crossed our mind a lot, are you relevant today?
Regardless of whatever current or whatever, I'm living in a current time right now, so I'm singing music in a current time, which makes it current, regardless of the sound or whatever. If people think it's classic rock or whatever the hell people think, it's in 2014, therefore it is current.
You come out top 31 Rush Week and do Stay With Me. You seemed like one of the few people who wasn't freaking out.
Get out here, Caleb Johnson.
You didn't seem that fazed by it, and I think you went from outsider to potential frontrunner pretty quickly.
Like that, yeah.
Amazing way to start the show. That was some real rock star-ish right there.
That's my home. That's where I live. Regardless of what the circumstances are in anything, as a performer, you have to go out there with the mindset that I'm going to shake things up and I'm going to kill it.
Stay with me, for tonight you're gonna stay here with me. Come on.
I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to sing or not, but
Right.
I've just had that mindset that I made it this far, I worked really hard, and if I get the opportunity, I'm going to go out there and bring it down.
Top 13 week, you sang Pressure in Time.
It's a modern rock song, and this is the type of music that I aspire to make if I hopefully make a record.
Not a song I knew. I think not a song you'd expect to hear on American Idol. Was there any fear of this could be a little too obscure? How did people behind the scenes say maybe you should pick something that was more of a top 40 hit?
My whole thing about me being on Idol was that I was not going to please anybody. I wasn't trying to win over people that watch the show, that are just fans of the show. I was just out there to represent myself as an artist, as a singer, as a performer, have fun, have a good time, and just go out there and sing music that I love, and sing music that I want to make records of. American Idol's a pop show, whatever, it doesn't matter. For me, as a rock singer, I wanted to pick a song that was A, current, and B, showcase my vocals in the best possible light, and also give an amazing, memorable performance. And that was the whole thought behind, that song choice.
I thought one of your biggest stretches in terms of song we wouldn't expect from you was Skyfall, and yet possibly one of your best vocals on the show.
I'm a big fan of the James Bond movies. My dream again is to hopefully one day be honored to sing a song for a James Bond movie. And for me, stylistically as an artist, I think I can stretch, and be, rock and roll, heavy metal, whatever. But then I can also be a little bit theatrical. I felt like that song was the best song to do that, where A, it's not rock, and B, it was a great way to incorporate rock elements into.
You did Edge of Glory the following week, and you switched up the arrangement, not to the best reviews from the judges.
I didn't dig the halftime feel of it because I felt like there was an inconsistency with the weight vocal lead.
I was absolutely happy with it. I mean, I really just wanted to give it like an old school Bob Seger, Main Street, Bruce Springsteen kind of, or Meatloaf type. I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. That's just so dramatic and so over the top that you could hear that. You could hear Meatloaf singing that. You could hear Bruce Springsteen singing that. And even the reference in the song itself, there's a sax solo by Clarence Clemens. So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's probably what she thought when she was writing it.
Whatever happened to sax solos?
Hey, you know what? I actually I said I wanted a sax solo in it, but they were like, it's too cheesy. I was like, who cares? Just I want a sax solo. I wanted it in it. Actually wanted it in that, and I wanted it in the Never Tear Us Apart in excess. But they're like, hey, that's so cheesy. I was like, it doesn't. Who gives a crap? Just do it. Like it can be fun. It's American Idol. Like you can. I wanted the camera shot to pan away, and some dude is just like ripping it on sax with like smoke coming on him, like just so over the top and ridiculous. But they wouldn't.
Do you think you might be able to sneak in a sax solo somewhere?
Oh,
in your debut album?
You don't even somewhere on some stage somewhere. I will have a sax solo somewhere. Yeah.
So not a lot of Led Zeppelin on Idol, but
Right.
you do Dazed and Confused, and it seemed like the band definitely got really into playing with you. What was your relationship with them? Was it just you were picking songs that resonated with them?
I love Ricky, and we really kind of hit it off because I want to be a frontman of a band, so I really know the ins and outs of working with bands because back home that's what I did. That's how I, really honed in my craft. And so with Ricky, it was just like, heck yeah, we got a badass band here. Let's make some magic happen on the stage. And I really pushed for them to be out on stage. I was one of the first people to say, hey, I want Ricky and them out on stage with me, not put in these boxes, but right there in front and center where everybody can see them and see how incredible they are. And that energy was so palpable because we were all right front and center. We were all connected. I requested the psychedelic acid stuff and all the smoke and just really give it such a powerful performance, and the band just elevated that even more, being right there.
Were you thinking about your set list through the season competitively, like I want to give a different mood week to week?
It doesn't really matter anyways because I wasn't really trying to prove anything to anybody, but it just with Idol, I guess it's good to take some songs and switch them up. Even though, I'm a rock singer through and through, I was like, you know what? I really have this really cool idea to take a soul R&B song and make it a bluesy, rock song. With Chain of Fools, it just came really natural because there was such great elements of that, and plus, Aretha Franklin is such an amazing, gift from God that I was like, that's the song that I want to take and make it my own. I love having backgrounds on stage, the background vocals. It's just so much fun when you have musicians and stuff out there with you. It's a family thing. It's not like this is based on the singer. I feel like that's very self-centered and that's very, kind of arrogant. Like, and a lot of pop singers, they do that, but that's just because they can't really sing and they're just like up there like, they're just up there doing their own thing because they're dancing and stuff, but it's like, to me, that's not real. That's fake. That's fake and it's forced, and I don't get off on that at all.
It gives another point of focus if let's say your mic goes flying out of your hands in the midst of the craziness.
Then cut to a drum solo and then it cuts, yeah.
You did Faithfully for Top 8 Redo Week, which was 80s Week. There were segment Vital fans that were like, when you said, I'm going to make old women cry.
I want to go out there and do it as best justice as possible and just go out there and make some old ladies cry.
People take everything so effing seriously that it's like, just get over yourselves. It's just a joke. Like, it wasn't directed towards anything to be mean or like whatever. It's just in good fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a smart-ass, funny comment. And, people get so bent out of shape and they tweet or whatever you call it. They tweet about it and stuff, and it's like, it's all in fun. It's all good fun, and people, they get twisted about it.
You picked Family Tree the following week.
I am your family tree. I know your A to Z.
A very current song. Was it important for you to say, I'm definitely covering something recent and current to prove that?
Kings of Leon were at the Sunset Marquee where we were staying at, and so I actually got to meet them, and they were so nice and gracious, and they invited me to their show, and so I got to go backstage and hang out with them, and it was just such a wonderful experience. They have never cleared a song for any kind of type of singing show, and I was like, hey guys, it would be an honor if I could sing, one of your songs on the show. And so they're like, yeah, absolutely. And so like I just did that because I was like, it's a great song. It's right off their new record, and it's just something that I think I would put on my record, if I got the shot to record anything.
I see your hands are shaking, the ball is breaking me down.
I felt like Rock Country Week was one of your best on the show. The judges loved your rock performance. They were a little more lukewarm on the country performance. I actually really loved Undo It.
Girl, you blew it. You got me through it. I wanna undo it.
You transported it into a different place, like into a real rock place. It almost sounded like a song that you could imagine you doing in real life.
Sometimes magic happens. It happened for you tonight. It just happened earlier.
This is advice for contestants and stuff like that come and audition and stuff, is that you, again, have to take everything with a grain of salt. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It matters what you think as a performer. And if you're happy with your performance or you feel great, who cares? I felt like I did a great job on that, and it was a cool thing to, you know, take a Carrie Underwood song and put my own twist on it and just, you know, have a good time with it.
You got saddled with I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, which is actually the most covered song in the history of Idol during America Request. I'm like, who in America requested that exactly?
I don't know if I would have picked that specific song, just because I think that song's been done a lot, you know, on American Idol. It was fun to do it because we had the strings and the candle, like the, you know, the candelabras. It was kind of like dramatic, theatrical. I had a blast to it, but it's a very hard song to sing too. It's very difficult. In the beginning of it, like my voice was like going out, so I was like, oh.
I could stay awake just to hear you breathing.
And here's the thing: doctors were like throwing like adrenaline, you know, on my chords and stuff backstage throughout the whole thing.
You were the only person who critiqued your own performance that week, by the way.
There's a couple of pitch issues with some of the notes, but, you know, for the most part, you know, I had a blast. It was so theatrical.
I know when I mess up and when I don't mess up. Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
That was also the week where you gave an interview after the show.
Has your opinion of social media changed since being on American Idol?
Yeah, it gives access to a bunch of retards to talk to me.
Well, see, the thing with that was after Sam, that whole thing about Sam.
And the fifth one is also a no.
So I was really upset about that. But that whole interview, and this whole thing, this whole Idol journey thing has been, you know, a learning process along the way where you're learning, you know, the ins and outs of, like, you know, watching what you say, what, you know, and handling stuff. And really, you know, that interview was really unfortunate because, you know, it wasn't directed towards the people that love and support me at all. That's ridiculous, you know. It was really just the frustration of the Sam stuff. And again, you know, people, like, you know, the social media stuff, people they're constantly, you know, talking to you. They're sending you stuff. Hey, I want you to sing this. Hey, I want you to sing. And it gets really, really overwhelming, man. It gets so overwhelming. But that was not directed towards the people that love and support me. And it was just the unfortunate use of a word that really, you know, upset people. And that was, you know, I was really deeply sorry that offended people, you know.
You get back from hometown visits for Top 3 week and you have very little voice left. How much did that suck, A? B, did you feel like, well, I've gotten this far and now I'm going home?
I did feel that way because, you know, I just didn't take care of myself when I went home. I really just went full out. Again, back to, you know, even back to that interview thing was that this whole thing is a learning experience, and you learn and you take what you take from your mistakes and you learn from that stuff. So I just went home just thinking, oh yeah, I can go have fun and like sing all day and on top of all the other singing that we do all during the week and not sleep and all this stuff, and then come back and think I'm going to be A-okay, good to go. Literally in rehearsal, I couldn't sing at all. That was the first time I sang those songs on TV. It hurt to sing because the only way I was singing then at that time was because of the doctors giving me this stuff that was like somewhat bringing my vocal cords back, you know. Did
you plan on destroying a mic stand, or was that just pure adrenaline and frustration?
Pure adrenaline. Yeah, that was pure adrenaline and frustration, man. It was just brought on by all that stuff when I was like, hey, if I'm going home, by God, I'm gonna leave him something to remember me by.
How did you feel about the Idol doctor coming out?
He's been struggling with a little bit of bronchitis and sinusitis.
I was shocked because I didn't know that Dr. Nasseri was going to do that, and he's an amazing, amazing doctor.
He actually has a small vocal cord hemorrhage, which is like a bruise on his vocal cord.
And I was like, wow, you know, that's really sweet of him to do that, because, I mean, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that at all, you know, but that meant that he, like, really cared about me, you know, and my chords and stuff, which was amazing because he has been, seriously, he's had my back since the beginning, since day one, you know, and he's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Nasseri.
For the producers round the following week, you get saddled with Dream On, which probably in terms of vocal difficulty is pretty high up there. Did you feel like, are they trying to blow out my vocal cord? Was it scary at all?
Yeah, it was pretty terrifying because, you know, it's a big, huge song, and not only that, I was completely shocked that I made it through to the final too. I was like, wow, you know, because my voice was gone. So I was just kind of blown away. I was like, well, here's your second chance.
You won American Idol.
I sure did, yeah.
Caleb Johnson!